All right, so let us begin. Uh, the plan is the following. I will prove these stability properties of canonical module, that when you go mod a regular sequence, canonical module behaves well, and canonical module localizes at all prime ideals. And completion of canonical module is canonical module of completion. This fourth formula is what was Grothendieck's definition, and I will derive his formula for the canonical module. And in a special case, when we have Artin algebra over a field, then the canonical module is really the dual with respect to K of R. Okay, so that is explicit construction of canonical module. And then I will give a calculation of canonical module of semigroup ring KT cube, T4, T5, and one can use that method to find canonical module of any space, parametric space curve. Okay, local ring at the origin of parametric space curve. Uh, Using just the definition of canonical module and the stability properties, I will show you an explicit injective resolution of the canonical module of a Cohen-Macaulay ring. And using that, we will get injective resolution of a Gorenstein local ring. Okay. Then finally, if I have time, I want to prove a very famous theorem of M.P. Murthy, which says that if we have a Cohen-Macaulay UFD, which is homomorphic image of a regular local ring, then it must be Gorenstein. Okay. So there was a conjecture of Samuel in the Tata lectures on UFDs, where Samuel mentions that whatever UFD he had ever seen, they were all Cohen-Macaulay. But that is not true. People found counterexamples. But it is true that in most examples, UFD is Cohen-Macaulay. Not only Cohen-Macaulay, Murthy proved that it is actually Gorenstein. So I will give a sketch of the proof of this interesting theorem. Unfortunately, we are at such a stop in our lectures that after doing these basics of canonical module, many interesting theorems in commutative algebra become accessible. But unfortunately, our course is getting over. So we'll think about a workshop in future where many interesting recent developments about Gorenstein rings and other things can be discussed. Okay, so let us begin. I hope everybody can hear me. I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these are the stability properties of canonical module. So standing assumption always is that we have a Cohen-Macaulay local ring with residue field K, and canonical module, we have proved that when it exists, any two canonical modules are isomorphic. So this is the notation for canonical module, omega r. R. And we know that this is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. Okay, and so suppose the dimension of the Cohen-Macaulay ring is D. Okay, then this is a Cohen-Macaulay module of dimension D. Dimension of omega r is D, and omega r has finite injective dimension, and its injective dimension is equal to D, and its type of omega r, which is the dimension of the vector space x d r k r, that is equal to 1. Okay, these are three defining properties of canonical module. And using these, we want to now show that if I go mod a regular sequence, take any regular sequence, then this is a Cohen-Macaulay local ring, and we are assuming that canonical module of R exists. Okay. Then the question is whether canonical module of R mod XR exists or not. And the answer is that it does. And canonical module of R mod XR is actually isomorphic to the canonical module of R over X omega R. Okay. Because omega R is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module, any regular sequence on R will also be a regular sequence on omega R. Okay, and omega R is Cohen-Macaulay. So dimension, first of all, we check that dimension of omega R over X omega R is equal to dimension of R minus, suppose this, let us first, one can inductively prove this theorem and assume that X bar just consists of one element alone. Okay, inductively we can prove this fact number one. So just take one element, then omega R over X omega R has dimension D minus 1. And since it is regular on omega R, this is also Cohen-Macaulay. So, and this is a module over R mod XR. So therefore omega R over X omega R is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module over R mod XR, and it has finite injective dimension. Injective dimension, when you go mod a regular element, it reduces by 1 by Ries's change of ring principle. So injective dimension of omega R over X omega R, okay. So X is now one single element, is equal to injective dimension of omega R. Omega R has injective dimension equal to D, okay. So this is equal to D minus 1. So it's a module over R mod XR, which is maximal Cohen-Macaulay module, and its injective dimension is D minus 1, and the type, it has the same type. Type is also, type doesn't change when you go mod. So let us see the type of omega R over X omega R. Okay, so this type is equal to dimension over the residue field. Residue field of R mod XR is same as residue field of R. So dimension over K, and dimension is now R mod XR has dimension D minus 1. So we must take D minus first X over R mod XR of K, okay, and omega R over X omega R. Okay, but this is precisely the Ries change of principle, change of ring principle of Ries, that this is isomorphic to XD R K omega R. Okay, this we have seen before. So therefore, but this has dimension equal to 1. So this type is also equal to 1. So this shows that omega R over X omega R is a canonical module. It's a canonical module of R mod XR. But canonical modules are isomorphic. Any two canonical modules are isomorphic. Therefore, canonical module of R mod XR is isomorphic to omega R over X omega R. Is this clear? Any doubts on this? Yeah, so we get a new proof of this theorem, which we proved earlier, that R mod XR is Gorenstein if and only if R is Gorenstein. Yeah, because Gorenstein ring means canonical module is isomorphic to R. Okay, if and only if R is Gorenstein. Okay, So if R is Gorenstein, we want to see whether R mod XR is Gorenstein. Okay, but for that we must just check whether canonical module of R mod XR is isomorphic to R mod XR. Okay, but this is isomorphic to omega R over XR. So if omega R is isomorphic to R, omega R mod XR is isomorphic to R mod XR. So that says R mod XR is Gorenstein. And similarly, converse can be proved. Okay. So that's a new short proof of stability property of Gorenstein ring. Yeah. Now let's go to the second property. The second property is localization. So if P is a prime ideal and omega R exists, it's a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. So when I localize, I get a Cohen-Macaulay module, maximal Cohen-Macaulay module over R localized at P. Okay, but what is it? So they say that it is isomorphic to canonical module of R localized at P. Okay, so we need to prove three properties of omega R P. Okay, so need to show one, omega R localized at P is maximal Cohen-Macaulay module over RP. Second, its injective dimension is finite. And third, the type of omega R P is 1. Once we prove these three properties, then this will follow. Yeah. So let us start. Yeah. So omega R is maximal Cohen-Macaulay module over R. Okay. So its dimension is D, and we know that Cohen-Macaulay modules, when I localize a Cohen-Macaulay module, I get Cohen-Macaulay module over the local ring. Okay. So this is Cohen-Macaulay module over the local ring. Yeah. So and by the depth formulas that we have proved before, you can easily see that this is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. Okay, this is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module over R localized. This is not difficult. Injective dimension. Okay, this is part 1. Part 2, injective dimension. So here we use this fact that if I is injective module, if I is injective R module, then I can localize at any multiplicative set. Then S inverse I is injective S inverse R module. Okay, you can prove this from just the definition, or use Bayes' criterion. That's the simplest thing. So this says that when I take a injective resolution of omega R, let us take an injective resolution of omega R. We know it has finite injective dimension, and injective dimension is actually D. So there is an exact sequence where these IJs are injective R modules. Okay. And now localize at P, localization will preserve this exact sequence. So omega R localized at P, I0 localized at P, etc., and ID localized at P. This is exact sequence, and each IIP is injective RP module. So that says that the injective dimension of omega RP is finite. That is second property. Yeah, is this clear? Now comes the type. Okay, you want to show that the type is also preserved. Type of omega RP is again 1. Okay, so to construct to find out the type, I have to calculate dimension of certain x. Okay, I have to calculate dimension of certain x, and the type remains the same if I go mod any regular element. Type of a module remains the same. But this omega p is a maximal Cohn-Macaulay RP module. And suppose that h is the height of p. Okay, s is the height of p. So therefore, dimension of omega p is h, and that is the dimension of RP. Okay, that is the dimension of RP, and so I can find out a regular sequence. So I'm trying to prove that the type of omega p is 1. Okay, so this p is a prime ideal. P is a prime ideal in R. Height of, and R is Cohn-Macaulay. So the grade of p is height of p, and that is also h. So that means I can find a regular sequence in H, in P. And when I localize, I denote the localization again by the same. So this, I can assume that this is a regular sequence. This is omega P regular sequence. It's a regular sequence in PRP. Okay, maximal regular sequence in PRP, but omega P is a maximal RP module. So it remains a regular sequence on omega p. Okay, so this is regular sequence. So therefore the type of omega p is same as type of omega p over x bar omega p. Okay, type remains the same, but you see this omega p over x bar omega p is a Cohn-Macaulay. This is a Cohn-Macaulay RP over x bar RP module. Yeah, omega p had height, I mean a dimension h, and I have gone mod a maximal regular sequence inside p that has length h. So this ring is Artin local ring. Okay, this is an Artinian local ring, and when I go mod a regular sequence, the injective dimension drops by as much as the length of regular sequence. So this says that this is an injective module. WP omega p over x bar omega p is it has injective dimension 0. Omega p had injective dimension equal to height of p. Okay, and when I go mod a maximal regular sequence, injectivity is preserved. So but now the dimension has dropped to 0. So its injective dimension is 0 because it's an injective module or Artin local ring. So its Artin local ring depth is 0. So therefore this is an injective module. This is injective. Let us write A for RP over x bar RP. This is an Artin local ring. RP over x bar RP is Artin local ring, and omega p over x bar omega p is an injective module over this Artin local ring. Okay. And in one lecture that Sudeshna gave, she described the structure of injective modules over local rings. That the indecomposable injective modules are of the form injective hull of R mod P, where P is some prime ideal. But now I'm over Artin local ring. There is a unique prime ideal, that is the maximal ideal, and therefore this injective module is a direct sum of injective hull of the residue field of a certain number of times. Okay, so this omega p over x bar omega p. Okay, this is the direct sum of injective hull of the residue field of R mod XR, and this is injective hull over RP over XRP, which I'm denoting by A. So certain number of times, let us say that it is direct sum R number of times. Okay, that is this is my M. This is an injective module, and suppose it is a direct sum of injective hull of K R times. I want to show that R is 1. Okay, because the type of M is number of times the injective hull occurs. Yeah, so I want to show that R is 1, right? Okay, so let us look at Hom A MM. This is equal to Hom A injective hull of K R and the same module, and so this is equal to this is equal to Hom, this is R square, this is direct sum R square times Hom distributes. So Hom A EAK R square times. Okay, but by Mathias duality, the endomorphism ring of the injective hull, yeah, is the completion of the local ring. But A is Artin local ring, it is complete local ring. So this is isomorphic to A R square. So endomorphism ring of M is isomorphic to A R square. Is this clear? Any doubts on this? Rahul Karki, any doubt on this?
No, sir.
Yeah, anybody else? Is this clear? How I got that Hom MM is A R square? I use this fact about Mathias duality that the endomorphism ring of the injective hull is the completion of the local ring, and A is Artin local ring, so it's already complete. So this Hom A E R K E A K is just A. Okay, so therefore this is A R square. All right. Now let's calculate this Hom in one more way, another way. Okay, so Hom A omega, this is omega P over X bar omega P, okay, and then omega P over X bar omega P. Okay, this is the Hom we are calculating, but localization distributes over Hom. These are all finite modules. So this is equal to Hom A omega R X bar omega R X bar omega R localized at P. And this, because I am taking localization, this is R mod X bar bar. Okay. Okay, this is isomorphic. Okay, but omega R over X bar R is the canonical module of R over omega R. So this is Hom R mod X R omega R over X bar R omega R over X bar R, okay, localized at P. Okay, but the endomorphism ring of canonical module of von Macaulay local ring is, we have proved before, it is the local ring. So this is equal to R over XR localized at P, which is equal to A. So we have two calculations of Hom MM. In one calculation it is A, in another calculation it is AR square. So this is equal to A, and that implies that R is 1. Yeah. So I proved that the type is of omega p is 1. So omega p is a type 1 maximal Cohen-Macaulay module of finite injective dimension uh, over Rp, and therefore it must be the canonical module of Rp. Yeah, so canonical module localizes. Okay, and this gives another proof of this fact that R is Gorenstein implies Rp is Gorenstein. Okay, because Gorenstein property is same as saying that omega R is isomorphic to R. So if omega R is isomorphic to R, it implies omega R localized at P is isomorphic to Rp, but I just proved that this is equal to omega Rp. So omega Rp is isomorphic to Rp, and that says that Rp is Gorenstein, and conversely. Okay, so the lesson learned is the canonical module, study of canonical module is more general, and facts about canonical modules imply facts about Gorenstein rings. So one can right away develop theory of canonical modules and then approach Gorenstein rings, unlike what I have done. I started in the classical way, went to Bas's definition, and then proved many results for Gorenstein rings. But one can right away develop canonical module, but that is too abstract an approach. Okay, so anyway, that is the second property. The part C is canonical module behaves well with respect to completion. So omega R completion is equal to canonical module of completion. Okay. Now here we just use this fact that R to R completion is a flat local homomorphism. This is a flat local homomorphism. And the dimensions are same. Dimension of R is dimension of R completion. Okay. And so I am assuming that omega R exists. Omega R exists. Then I want to show that omega R completion exists. And it is isomorphic to completion of omega R, which is obtained by taking tensor product with R completion. Okay. Yeah. So I need to now show that omega R tensored with R completion is a canonical module. Canonical module of R completion. So I need to prove three properties. That is, type is 1, it is Cohen-Macaulay, and it is injective. Okay. So all these are, you can just use the X criteria for these properties and check these three properties. So first is whether omega R completion, okay, this is Cohen-Macaulay. Cohen-Macaulay, maximal Cohen-Macaulay R completion module. Yeah. So this is clear because suppose X bar is a maximal regular sequence in R, and then use the flat local homomorphism from R to R completion, and that implies that X bar is a maximal regular sequence in R completion also. Okay, and the dimension, when I complete a module, the dimension doesn't change. The dimension doesn't change. This dimension is same as dimension of omega R. So this means that this is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. This is true for any maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. If I take a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module over a Cohen-Macaulay local ring of dimension D, I complete it, I get a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module because we have a flat local homomorphism. Okay. Dimension doesn't change when you tensor with R completion, and the maximal regular sequence in R remains maximal regular. It is a maximal regular sequence on omega R. So when I tensor with R completion, it is again a maximal regular sequence. okay, because it's a flat map. So this is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay R completion module. Okay, and injective dimension of omega R completion is same as injective dimension of omega R, because I take an injective resolution of omega R and tensor with R completion, then I need to just check that when you tensor an injective module with R completion, it remains an injective module. And when I take injective resolution and tensor with R completion, it will preserve the exactness of the sequence. So I will get an injective resolution of omega R completion. So, and injective dimension therefore will not change. Okay. It has finite injective dimension, so its injective dimension is depth of R completion, but R completion is a Cohen-Macaulay local ring because R is a Cohen-Macaulay local ring, so its injective dimension is dimension of R, which is dimension of R completion. Okay. Then the type also doesn't change because type has to do with the dimension of certain X. The type of R type of omega R completion, okay, is equal to dimension over K. Residue field doesn't change when I complete the local ring. So dimension over K of dth X R completion of K omega R completion. Okay, but this is because R completion over R is flat. This X dth X is it is a finitely generated module. So this is dth X of R K omega R tensored with R completion. Okay, so and so if I have a module of if I have Artinian module of length 1, it is isomorphic to R mod M, and so when I complete it, it is isomorphic to R completion over M R completion, but R completion over M R completion is equal to R mod M by properties of the completion. Okay, so the type still remains the same. Yeah, so that proves this fact that when I complete omega R, it is a canonical module, and therefore this is isomorphic to omega R completion. So this gives me another proof that R is R. If I have a Cohen-Macaulay local ring, then it is Gorenstein. If I don't leave, the completion is a Gorenstein local ring. Any questions? Any questions on these stability properties? All right. So now let us do. Yeah.
Sir?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah. Yes. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah. Please
Sir,
ask your question.
can you explain the part why the injective dimensions are equal?
Yeah. So if I have a module of finite injective dimension.
Why the injective dimensions are equal for?
Yeah. So injective dimension, if once injective dimension is finite, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. When injective dimension is finite, its value is depth of the local ring. Okay?
Yes.
Now
Yes.
depth of R and depth of R completion, they are same.
Okay.
They have equal dimension, and completion of a Cohen-Macaulay local ring is Cohen-Macaulay local ring.
Yes.
So when I complete the canonical module, I take an injective resolution of, if I have a module of finite injective dimension, I have an injective resolution of finite length, right? I have injective resolution of finite length.
Yes.
So I tensor with R completion. R completion is flat over R. So it will preserve the exact sequence,
Okay.
right? So only thing to prove is that when I tensor with R completion, an injective module remains injective over R completion. That's an easy exercise I am leaving for you. Okay, so I will get an exact sequence involving injective modules over R completion. So M tensor R completion has finite injective dimension.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Any other doubt?
No, sir. That's all.
Yeah. So So now let us prove two formulas for two explicit formulas for canonical modules. Two explicit formulas for omega r. Okay. So first is Grothendieck's formula that if I have a finite local homomorphism, suppose these are local rings, and S is a finite R module, okay, which means that phi R is a subring of S, and this is a finite integral extension. This is a finite integral extension. Okay. So this is just S is a finite module of phi R. Okay. There are many such examples. For example, suppose I take R and take quotient by an ideal, then R mod I is a cyclic R module, so it's a finite R module. Or I could have an integral extension of R, yeah. Then also this is satisfied. Okay. So in that case, the dimensions will be same, but R to R mod I also satisfies the same condition. So I have a ring homomorphism where S is a finite phi R module. Okay. And suppose that the dimension of R minus dimension of S is equal to H. Yeah. So this phi R is equal to R mod the kernel. Okay. It is R mod the kernel. And Sn is a finite module. It's a finite integral extension of R mod I. So dimension of S is equal to dimension of R mod I. Okay. R is always Cohen-Macaulay local ring. So this dimension is equal to dimension of R minus height of H. Height of I, height of the kernel. Okay. Okay. So therefore height of I is equal to dimension of S minus dimension of R. So I have a ring homomorphism so that S becomes a finite R module. Then the difference of the two dimension is the height of the kernel of this map, and this I'm denoting by H. Okay. Then this is the explicit formula that if I know canonical module of R, I can find canonical module of S. And the formula is, it is equal to Hth x over R yeah, of S omega R. Yeah. So that says that if I know canonical module of a Cohen-Macaulay ring, then I know canonical module of any quotient of this Cohen-Macaulay ring, or any integral extension of this Cohen-Macaulay local ring. Yeah. And of course, we have already proved how canonical module changes when you go mod a regular sequence, or when you localize, or when you complete. Okay, these were those three operations. They give easy formulas for the canonical module. This is another homomorphism we encounter all the time, that we have a local homomorphism from R to S, so that S is a finite R module. Then if I know canonical module of R, then I know canonical module of S. Now you will immediately recognize the importance of Cohen structure theorem here, because Cohen structure theorem said that any complete local ring, okay, any complete, if so Cohen structure theorem said that if R is a complete local ring, okay, this is complete local ring, then it is homomorphic image of a regular local ring. Okay. This is surjective image of a regular local ring. A regular local ring is Gorenstein, so its canonical module is equal to S. Okay, and so if I know the height of the kernel, let us say height of the kernel phi, suppose this is equal to H, then by this result it will say that the canonical module of R is equal to HX over S, okay, of just a minute, I'm mixing things. Yeah, of R. So omega S, this is omega S is equal to S, and this is R. Yeah. Okay, so we can find out the canonical module of quotient or finite modules, local rings which are finite modules over R using this formula. So let us prove this. And let me first, before I prove, let me give another consequence of this. So this suppose I have an Artin K algebra. Suppose R is Artinian local K algebra. It means I have a map from K to R. Okay. Yeah. Then omega K is of course K. So omega R exists. Okay. But these two have same dimension. They have equal dimension. There is no kernel here. So by this formula of canonical module of R is equal to Hom. Okay. Hom over K of Rk. Because K is the canonical module of K. So this is the canonical module of Artin local K algebra. Usual K dual is the canonical module. Okay. So let us prove this formula for omega S. Okay. Yeah. So that is the setting. We have R and then S. Okay. And R mod I is a subring of S. Height of I is H. And we are assuming that omega R exists. Omega R exists. And we want to show that the Hth text, okay, the Hth text of R, S, omega R is a canonical module, is a canonical S module. Okay, yeah. So look at this. Omega R is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. It is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay R module. And of course, I am assuming that this S is Cohen-Macaulay local. Okay. So dimension of S is equal to dimension of R over I. And this S is a Cohen-Macaulay R mod I module. So dimension of S is equal to D minus H. Right? So I have this module S which belongs to Cm D minus H. And I have maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. So I proved last time that when I take this Hth text, H is equal to this Hth text, which is D minus H. This is also a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module over S. Okay. So that's the property. That is the first property we have to prove to see that a module is a canonical module, that it is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. Yeah. So let us pick pick a maximal regular sequence H, which is contained in I. This is a maximal regular sequence. I is an ideal of a Cohen-Macaulay ring. Its height is h, so I can find a maximal regular sequence of length h. And the other two properties of canonical modules can be detected by going mod a regular sequence. After going mod a regular sequence, if I get a module of finite injective dimension, original module is also having finite injective dimension, and the type also doesn't change when I go mod a regular sequence. Okay, so therefore, this is my situation, Rm and Sn, and I have a maximal regular sequence contained in I. So I pass to R mod XR. Okay, I pass to R mod XR, and I have a map from R mod XR to R mod I. And then this is a subring of S. This is a finite module. Okay, but this, of course, this is a finite module. So S is finite module over R mod XR also. Yeah. So I want to detect the other two properties of this module, xt s omega r. Okay, x is a regular sequence in R. So this xt and length, sorry, x h. So this is isomorphic. This is isomorphic to Hom R mod XR. Okay, and then S omega R X omega R. This is by Ries's change of ring formula for X. Okay, X bar, this X bar is a regular sequence in R. Omega R is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module, so it's a regular sequence on omega R also, and therefore this H at X is equivalent to this Hom. Okay. Now once I go mod XR, the dimension of R reduces by H. Okay. So now dimension of R mod XR is same as dimension of S. Okay. So we may therefore, if you want to prove that this module has type 1 and it has finite injective dimension, I can just show these facts for this module because this is isomorphic. Okay. But now the dimension of S and dimension of R mod XR have become equal. And we know that this omega R or X omega R, this is the canonical module of R over XR. Okay. So we started with this situation, but we have a map from R mod XR to this. But now R mod XR has same dimension as dimension of S. And this H at X is isomorphic to this Hom. And omega R is also specialized to omega of R mod XR. So we can right from the beginning assume that R and S have equal dimension. Okay, R and S have equal dimension. So without loss of generality, dimension of R is equal to dimension of S equal to D, and so and then we need to check the two properties of canonical module of Hom R S omega R. We need to show that this is a canonical module of S. Yeah. So I need to show that its type is 1 and it has finite injective dimension. Okay. So now again I use the same trick. Type remains same if I go mod a regular sequence. Okay. Now S is Cohen-Macaulay of dimension D. Omega R is Cohen-Macaulay of dimension D. So this is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module, and this is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. So this Hom is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. This I proved last time. Yeah, this is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. Okay, and so to detect its type, I can go mod a regular sequence. So R has now dimension D. So pick Y bar contained in the maximal ideal of R, and this is a maximal regular sequence. Is a maximal regular sequence in the maximal ideal of R. Okay. So when I go mod this maximal regular sequence, this is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. When I tensor with R mod Y bar, I'm going mod a maximal regular sequence in R, but this is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module. So this Y bar remains a maximal regular sequence on this module also. But we have proved before that this is isomorphic to Hom R mod YR, okay, and then S mod YS, and then R mod YR. Now these are Artin local rings. Okay, these are Artin local rings. Okay, so no, I need, this is omega R. Sorry, Hom S omega R. So this is this. Okay, yeah. So this is equal to Hom R mod Y bar R S over Y bar S, and this is omega of R over Y bar R. Okay. But canonical module of this Artin local ring. Okay, this is canonical module of Artin local ring. What is it? Canonical module of Artin local ring. Somebody wants to tell me? Yeah, injective hull. This we have seen before. It is the injective hull of the residue field of R mod YR. Okay. Yeah. So I have this Artin local ring and R mod XR, okay, R mod YR to S mod Y bar S. This is, we have a natural homomorphism from this ring to this ring. Both are Artin local rings, and I have this omega of R mod Y bar R, okay, and this is equal to the injective hull of the residue field, and so I have injective module over this local ring, and I have a homomorphism from here to here. Okay, so when I take this Hom, I get injective module. So this is injective S mod YS module. Yeah, this is, we have seen before. I have a ring homomorphism R to S, and I have injective module over R, then Hom R, okay, S E. This is an injective module over S. I'm just using that principle. Okay, so this is injective module over S mod YS. S mod YS is Artin local ring. Injective modules over Artin local ring are direct sum of its injective hull, finite direct sum. This is Artinian module. So I mean, it's a finite length module, so it's a direct sum, finite direct sum of the injective hull of S mod. Okay, so this says that Hom R over Y bar R, okay, S over Y bar S, and then E R Y bar R K. Okay, this is injective S mod YS module. Okay, so therefore this is isomorphic to injective hull of the residue field of S mod Y bar S certain number of times. Okay, yeah, but let us show that this R is actually 1. Okay, this R is actually 1. So let us write R prime as R over Y bar S, Y bar R, and S prime equal to S over Y bar S. Both are Artin local rings. This is Artin local ring. This is Artin local ring. Okay, and so we now use the Mathless duality. Mathless duality says that if I take finite length module, this implies that HOM or L injective hull of a local ring. This has also this is also finite length, and this length is equal to length of L. Okay, so I use this fact from Mathias duality, and so therefore length of this Artin local ring, S prime is Artin local ring. Okay, so its length is equal to length of its injective hull. Okay, yeah, that's this, but yeah, but this is equal to this length is equal to length of HOM R prime S prime E R prime K. This is the dual. S prime is being thought of as a R prime module now of finite length. So I can take its Mathias dual, and then its length will be this length. But we just calculated the length of this to be injective hull of K R number of times. Okay, so that this shows that R is 1. Yeah. So type of this module, HOM R omega R, HOM S omega R. This type is 1. Okay, and it has finite injective dimension. This calculation will also show it has finite injective dimension. So I approved all 3 properties of this module to qualify as a canonical module of S. Okay, so we have explicit formula for the canonical module. So repeat, Rm to Sn. This is a finite morphism, implies that omega S is equal to, if they have equal dimension, otherwise we have to look at the height of the kernel, it is equal to X H R, okay, omega R S. Okay. So if this S is a complete local ring, and I take this regular local ring by Cohen structure theorem, the regular local ring will be Gorenstein, so this omega R will be equal to R. So I will get an explicit formula for the canonical module. Yeah, so as a corollary, a complete local ring has a canonical module, has a canonical module. Just map a regular local ring to it and apply this formula. Complete, always, we are always looking at canonical modules of Cohen-Macaulay rings. So complete Cohen-Macaulay local ring has a canonical module. Okay, any doubts on this? So let me calculate an example. Let us look at the ring R equal to this power series T3, T5 and T7. Okay, find canonical module. This is a complete local ring of dimension 1. Yeah. So canonical module is a maximal Cohen-Macaulay module of dimension 1 over this ring. It exists. We know it exists, and we apply this formula, Grothendieck's formula. So map a complete regular local ring, regular local ring KXYZ to R. Okay, where we map X to T cube y to T5, and z to T7. And now apply Herzog's algorithm. To find the kernel. So kernel of phi, you can check that this is generated by 2 by 2 minors of this matrix, x, y, z, okay, over y, z, x cube. Yeah. Is this clear what I'm doing?
Yes, sir.
Everybody knows how to find the kernel?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you have to do the semigroup ring calculation and seek the kernel. Okay. So let's write the 2 by 2 minors. Okay. So 2 by 2 minors of this 2 by 3 matrix. So the kernel is a height 2 prime ideal, and we know the generators. These are the 2 by 2 minors of this 2 by 3 matrix. And let me give a notation. Delta 1 equal to x4 minus yz. Okay. And delta 2 equal to y square minus xz. And delta 3 is equal to x cube. Okay. Delta 3 is x cube y minus z square. Okay, that is my p. Okay, or the other way around. Z square minus, I will write z square minus x cube y. These are the these are three minors of this 2 by 3 matrix. And you can just look at these and see that delta 1, delta 2 is a maximal regular sequence in P. Let us say P is the kernel of phi is a height 2 prime ideal. Let us call it P, and this P is generated by delta 1, delta 2, delta 3, and delta 1, delta 2 is a maximal regular sequence. Yeah. So we have this is my S power series ring, and kernel is a height 2 prime ideal, and therefore the canonical module of R is equal to x2 S mod P, okay, S. Okay, that's the canonical module. And by change of ring principle, if I have this regular sequence in P, delta 1, delta 2 is in the annihilator. It's a regular sequence in the annihilator. And it is a regular sequence in S, because P is a ideal of S. It's a regular sequence on X. So this is equal to Hom S mod P, S mod X. I mean this S mod delta 1, delta 2. But this Hom is equal to delta 1, delta 2, colon P over delta 1, delta 2. Okay. Now, these three minors, they have two relations. Yeah. So I have this matrix, 2 by 3 matrix, x, y, z, x square, x cube. So if I repeat the first row, then this determinant of the 3 by 3 matrix is 0. Okay. So I will get the following relation. So I can repeat the first row or second row, make these two 3 by 3 matrices, and their determinant is 0. So that gives me two relations on these minors, and these relations are x delta 1, okay, plus z delta 2 plus y delta 3. This is 0. And I will get one more relation, y delta 1 plus x cube delta 2 plus z delta 3. that is also equal to 0. Okay. So I need to find this delta 1, delta 2 colon P over delta 1, delta 2. Okay. So you can use these relations and see that delta 1, delta 2 colon P is equal to delta 1, delta 2 colon delta 3. Okay. So I'm looking for elements which multiply delta 3 into delta 1, delta 2. So look at this relation. Y delta 3 is in the ideal generated by delta 1, delta 2. Z delta 3 is in the ideal generated by delta 1, delta 2. So Y and Z are in this colon. Okay. But exercise show that it is actually generated by Y and Z. Okay. So therefore, omega R is isomorphic to YZ over delta 1, delta 2. Okay. And so if you go back to your power series ring, Y and Z, they were mapping to T5 and T7. So omega R is isomorphic to the ideal generated by T5 and T7. Okay. So omega R is not principal. Number of generators of omega R is the type of the ring, type of R, and this is equal to 2, and therefore R is not Gorenstein.
Jugal,
Yeah.
this you could have checked directly by checking the fact that the semigroup generated by 3, 5, 7 is not symmetric.
Yeah. Here I am computing the canonical module. This is a byproduct.
No, once you check it is symmetric, it can't be Gorenstein.
Yeah. But the purpose was to calculate the canonical module.
Okay.
And that implies that it is not Gorenstein. And of course, you are right. We can just check that the semigroup generated by 357 is not symmetric. I have not proved that theorem. Okay, but it follows from there, that numerical criterion. But I wanted to just illustrate how to use this Ext formula for the canonical module in this example. All right. So any doubts on this calculation? Okay. Now let me discuss injective resolution of omega R. Okay. So let us prove this result that suppose C is a Cohen-Macaulay module. Let Rm be Cohen-Macaulay ring, and C is a finite R module. Then C is a canonical module for R if and only if the ith Bass number of the prime ideal P, ith Bass number of C with respect to this prime ideal, which is defined to be dimension over the residue field at P of ith Ext over R localized at P of Kp and Cp. Okay, this is the number of times the injective hull of R mod P occurs in II, where this II is the injective resolution of omega R. Yeah. So this you have seen, I think in one tutorial, Sudeshna proved this fact. Number of times injective hull of R mod P occurs in the ith module in a minimal injective resolution is this dimension. Okay, localize the module at P and then take this ith Ext, dimension of the ith Ext over the residue field. So this we can characterize canonical module in terms of these Bass numbers. that this mu I PC is equal to delta I H, where H is the height of P. And this is for all prime ideals. Okay. So only when this says that the injective hull of R mod P occurs in the ith module in the minimal injective resolution exactly once. Okay. Yeah, and it doesn't occur elsewhere. It doesn't occur elsewhere in the injective resolution. And this is a characterization. This is a nice numerical characterization of this, and it is a necessary and sufficient condition. Yeah, so let us prove this. Or before the proof, let me point out a corollary. Let R be a Gorenstein ring, R be a d-dimensional Gorenstein local ring, then a minimal injective resolution of R. So R has injective dimension equal to dimension of the ring. So injective resolution will be this R to direct sum E R mod P, where height of P is 0, direct sum E R mod P, where height of P is 1, okay, etc. And then take height P equal to I E of R mod P. It occurs only once. Finally, the last module has only the maximal ideal, and it occurs once. So injective hull of the residue field of K. Okay, this is directly from this fact. Okay, mu I P R is equal to delta I height P. So the number of times injective hull of R mod P occurs is only once, and it occurs in the ith module in the minimal injective resolution. And so that says this is the injective resolution of a Gorenstein local ring. And we want to say that any finite module which has such an minimal injective resolution is a canonical module. Okay, so this is clear because we have specified the components of the injective modules, yeah, in the injective resolution. So it has finite injective dimension. C has finite injective dimension, and the injective dimension, we know it is equal to depth of R. So therefore injective dimension is dimension of R, which is equal to D. Okay, and to check that the type is 1. Okay, so to check the type is 1, I have to calculate xd of kr. Okay, but dimension over k of xd of kr, okay, that can be calculated from here, and this will be dimension 1 because I have just one copy of the injective hull in the resolution. You just take harm k and then calculate the x, and this will turn out to be the dimension will be number of times the injective hull occurs in this injective resolution by Mathias duality. This dimension is 1, so type is 1, and it has this module has finite injective dimension, and the x tie can be calculated. This is a injective resolution, so there's only one non-vanishing x here, which is the dth x, and so that says that the depth of the module is equal to I should have said C here. Depth of the module is equal to dimension of the ring. So C is a maximal quantum module of type 1. It has finite injective dimension. Okay. So one can characterize these modules using these vast numbers. All right, so I think one can go on. Many more interesting results are coming up once we have fundamentals of canonical module. I wanted to prove the theorem that I started with, Kunz's theorem, which characterized Cohen-Macaulay local domains in terms of the, Gorenstein local domains of dimension 1 in terms of length of R bar over R and length of R over C. I have included in this theorem in my notes, and you have enough background now to read the proof using canonical module of a one-dimensional Cohen-Macaulay local domain. So I will stop here.